Good morning and welcome to T-Hub Capital, the Investors Lounge, the podcast where we explore financial market dynamics, emerging trends, and the insights that shape successful investments. Each week, we'll delve into the strategies and analyses that drive our investment decisions. You'll get an insider's perspective on the factors influencing markets and the potential winners and losers of tomorrow. Subscribe to the podcast to stay ahead of the curve and make informed investment choices. Enjoy listening.
Week in markets. Europe surges, US mixed. Women gain in alter sets. Welcome to T-Hub Capital's The Investors Lounge weekly newsletter. Today's date is March 18th. Let's dive into the week's stock market news. European markets surge on positive earnings and ECB outlook. European stock markets extended their winning streak for the 8th consecutive week. The Pan-European Stocks Europe 600 index climbed 0.31% in local currency, fueled by strong corporate earnings and hopes of lower interest rates from the European Central Bank, ECB, in June. Major indices like France's CAC 40, plus 1.70%, Italy's FTSE MIB, plus 1.61%, and Germany's DAX, plus 0.69%, all saw significant gains, with the UK's FTSE 100 adding 0.94%. Investor confidence in Italy's economic policy, coupled with demand for higher-yielding debt, significantly narrowed the gap between Italian and German 10-year bonds. UK labour market shows mixed signals. Bow hints at full employment. UK unemployment rate unexpectedly edged up to 3.9% in the 3 months through January, while wage growth slowed to 6.1%. However, January's GDP surprised with a 0.2% increase, suggesting a potential recovery from the late 2023 recession. Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey acknowledged that the UK is nearing full employment. He highlighted an unusual combination of full employment with disinflation, easing concerns about a wage inflation spiral. ECB hints at June rate cuts. Bloomberg reports that ECB officials, including Martins Kazaks, François Villeroy de Galhau, Robert Holzmann, and Pierre Wunsch, have signaled interest rate cuts as early as June. T. Rowe Price European economist Tomasz Filadek believes the ECB will likely lower borrowing costs at each meeting this year, although service inflation risks remain. U.S. markets mixed as inflation data suppresses. Stocks experienced a volatile week as investors reacted to higher-than-expected inflation figures and signs of slowing consumer spending. The Dow initially hit a record high but ultimately ended the week down. While energy stocks gained on rising oil prices, tech shares lagged. Now our insight into alternative markets. Women in alternative assets reach 22% representation. Progress, but challenges remain. The alternative assets industry continues to make strides in gender diversity, with women now representing 22% of professionals in the field, according to a new Prekin report. This represents a steady 1% annual increase since 2020. However, women remain underrepresented in senior positions, holding only 15% of these roles. Investors lead the way. Investors demonstrate higher female representation than fund managers, with 25% of all investor roles held by women. Foundations lead in gender diversity, boasting 43% female representation, while corporate investors lag behind at 17%. DEI adoption still limited despite progress. The report reveals that less than 10% of the estimated 50,000 active fund managers globally have concrete diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) policies. This highlights a significant area for improvement. Regional variations: North America leads in overall female representation within alternative assets at 23%. Europe follows at 22%, with Asia and the rest of the world at 20%. Notably, Europe surpasses North America in gender diversity within specific asset classes like private equity, private debt, and natural resources.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Hub Capital, the Investors Lounge podcast. I hope you found this content interesting and inspiring. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode, and share it with your friends and colleagues who might be interested. To learn more about T-Hub Capital and our activities, visit our website, thubcapital.com. You can also follow us on our LinkedIn page. See you soon. All the best from the T-Hub Capital team.